Hey guys, what is up? Big Drew here. You're listening to the Where's Big Drew podcast. Um, Actually, this is really more of an intro to the podcast. I, I'm actually on the go right now, and I had a little bit of time to myself. I'm kind of running some personal errands right this second. Um, I was just out and about, and yeah, so I got to thinking, I'm like, and I had set up all the stuff for the podcast. I set up the podcast page and sort of designed the default picks and all that fun stuff that everybody always likes to do. And, you know, I just wanted to kind of sort of do like an intro, I guess. And like I said, I'm mobile right now. I'm actually driving through Blaine, Tennessee. Um, Even if you're from near Blaine, Tennessee, there's a chance that you may or may not heard of it. It's a very small town. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to kind of give an introduction and I guess more or less explain what this podcast is, who I am, and what I'm trying to do. So, um, for my job, I do I do travel quite a bit, at least a fair amount. Um, but I've gotten the opportunity to travel all across the country, um, which would be the United States. I'm not sure where you're listening to this from, but I've got a chance to travel all across the country. I've ate at, I don't want to say thousands, but I've definitely ate at hundreds and hundreds of different restaurants. I've got the chance to, you know, travel and hit. It's been a minute since I've sit down and counted, but I want to say maybe like 40 of the 50 states. Um, Never got to go to Hawaii, never got to go to Alaska, but pretty much the very tippy top of the Northeast I haven't got to do, and I haven't got to do the Northwest, Washington, Oregon, um, Idaho, Montana, that whole like northwestern sector there. I've not got a chance to visit. I'd love to one day. If you're listening to this and you want to bring me out to do a feature on your spot, that's cool. We can talk about it. But um, never got to do the Northwest, and I haven't got to do the very tippy tip of the Northeast. I mean, I have a little bit, but it's just been in passing. But I've gotten a chance to eat at a lot of little, just awesome mom and pop places that most people have never even heard of, unless you're from that area. And I'm the type of guy that, like I said, I travel a lot. I'm on the go a lot. Um, but, you know, for me, yes, I like to travel. I like to get out and see things and do things and experience things. But I'm someone who, if I go to the beach or, I go visit a city or town or whatever, I don't want to just eat like Subway or, you know, Pizza Hut or whatever. I want to eat something that's unique to that area because it's like, hey, I'm traveling, I mean, I can eat McDonald's anytime. Where's the fun in that, right? And so my love for food and my love for some more, supporting small businesses and local businesses has always sort of led me to want to experience parts of the towns that I'm visiting. Um, you know, Tupelo, Mississippi. Most of you guys have probably never heard of it. I had to go down there for some business. This has been, gosh, probably close to 10 years now, actually. Um, but had to go down to Tupelo, Mississippi. Knew nothing about it. Absolutely nothing. Um, Got into town. Once I got there, I was doing business and stuff, but I started researching around a little bit to figure out, what is Tupelo, Mississippi known for? Like, what is there to do here? And come to find out, that's the birthplace of Elvis. Didn't know that. Um, there's a lot of little places that were kind of like Elvis's old stomping grounds. Like They had Elvis's favorite restaurant. They had, Elvis's favorite barber shop or whatever. It was like, all these different places. And it was like, oh, that's cool. You know, um, Tunica is not too far from Tupelo. Tunica is kind of like the Vegas of the South, which was, cool. Never got to experience Tunica. That's still on my list. But, found out that was Elvis's birthplace. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was like one of the original locations of like Comcast or something. I don't remember exactly, but I don't know. It's just like there was all these little things that I found out, and I'm like, okay, cool. And it was like I asked the locals, hey, where's the best place in town to go eat? And everybody's like, oh man, Elvis's favorite restaurant is da da da. I don't even remember the name of it. Um, and me and um, my business buddy, which he'll be on here at some point, Vernon Corum, the short-term pro. If you guys, if you're from the Eastern Tennessee area and you have anything to do with like short-term rentals and Airbnbs and stuff like that, you've probably heard of him. Um, but yeah, we were down there doing some business, and we went and ate at this place. It was like, it was good, but it wasn't like, the best place ever. And then we went and stopped in this little, on a different day, we went and pulled into some random podunk little gas station that had a deli inside. Sit down and ate, and it was some of the best barbecue I've ever had. It was crazy. And that place was called Papa V's. I'll never forget. I don't even know if it's still open or not, but uh, it was called Papa V's, and literally I've never forgot the name of that place. For one, because Vernon Corum, everybody that knows him calls him V for short. So it's kind of like, hey, Papa V's, and I'm pretty sure he actually snapped a picture out in front of it somewhere. That's probably in the archives somewhere. But one of the greatest places that I've ever ate at, like one of the best barbecue places I've ever ate at. It was just some little hole in the wall deli that was inside of a gas station. Um, there's another place. If you head I-40 west and go you can drive, like I live in Knoxville. I can hop on I-40 and drive all the way to California. Um, and somewhere out, I want to say just across when you get into Arizona, I think it was, there was like this old, like abandoned tourist trap, and it was called like I don't know, Fort Smith or Fort something. I don't remember. It was like, it's called Fort something. It looked like an old like Wild Wild West like military base type thing. Like they had these little wooden towers and stuff, and it was just like, it looked like a place that you could shoot like a Wild Wild West movie at. And I was traveling along through there one day, and I'm like, hey, this place looks pretty cool. And I pulled over, and it was completely abandoned. And I'm like, so they had all these wooden silos and all this stuff in there, and it was just like completely abandoned. So I hopped out of my car and I started walking around and sort of just exploring. And I had the place to myself. I was just kind of exploring, and took some pictures, and took some really cool pictures and stuff, and just kind of explored it. And I wondered, I wonder what this place was like back in the day. It looked like it was like some kind of real cool, like real cool like tourist trap. Kind of like if you guys have ever been to south of the border, it's like as soon as you come into South Carolina, coming in from North Carolina on, I think it's like 95, they have this place called South of the Border. It's a complete tourist trap, but it's fun as hell, right? And so I like went walking around and exploring this place for like 30 minutes or so, however long it was, taking pictures and, just walking around. I just thought it looked cool. It was this real cool looking abandoned. If I can think of it, I'll post some pictures of it later. On my, just follow me on Facebook at Where's Big Drew. I'll post some pictures of it. But yeah, it was just, I had the place to myself, and I just explored it and took some pictures, and I just thought it was cool as hell. And last time I drove through there, this has been probably like, I don't know, maybe like 4-ish years ago, 5 years ago. The place was completely locked up. They had all these fences and stuff around it, and hell, I don't know, maybe that was my fault. Maybe somebody down the road or something called in and said, hey, there's some fat bearded guy walking around your property. I don't know what he's doing, but you might want to locked the place up. You got trespassers just all over the place over there. I don't know, maybe it was my fault. But yeah, they had fences all around it. You couldn't even get to the thing anymore. And I'm like, had I not just on a whim hopped out of my car and walked around that place and explored it for a little bit, I may not have ever. And I don't know, they could have tore the place down by now. I don't know. There could be a Dollar General there because, you know, Dollar Generals are always in the middle of nowhere. There's a dirt hill in the middle of some podunk town. It's like, hey, it's a perfect place for a Dollar General right there. But you know, I've had all these really cool experiences. I've got to eat at all these different places, and I can rattle off, you know, 5 of my top 10 places. You know, fast food, Whataburger down in Texas. Nothing against the rest of them, but the ones in Texas, man, I'm telling you, them Whataburgers are something else, dude. Uh, a lot of people hate on Whataburger and say they're trash and this and that. For one, you probably haven't ate at the ones down in Texas, and for two, you probably haven't ate at them at the ones down in Texas before the original family or whatever sold it to a bigger company. I've not ate at them since the new company bought them out, but you know, Whataburger, one of my greatest, you know, favorite fast food places. Also down in Texas, there's this little, in Laredo, Texas, there's like a little 7-Eleven with a taco stand on the inside of it called Angelina's Tacos. Some of the best tacos that I have ever had in my entire life from this place. In I want to say it's like Milan, New Mexico, but there's this little cafe. It's inside of a little, not really a travel center. I mean, it's like a gas station with a shop, like a little. It's like a gas station with a gift shop or whatever. But there's a little cafe inside of it called Kiva Cafe. Not quesadilla burger. They have an amazing enchilada burger that was just like to die for. I stopped at this other little place. I don't want to say it was in Arizona. Little hole in the wall bar off of Route 66, and there's like a strip club like right next door. Actually, it's technically in the same building. Never went to the strip club, and I can say that in full confidence, knowing that I 100% am not telling a lie. Never went to the strip club part, but stopped in there and got a green chili burger, and it was like one of the best burgers. I'd have to look that place up if it's even still there. It was like literally in the middle of nowhere. Wilmer Valderrama, however you say his name, the guy that played Fez on that 70s show, like shot a movie there apparently, or a few scenes. They had pictures all up of it. Yeah, green chili burger, one of the best burgers I've ever had. Seligman, Arizona, there's a little place called Juanjijo's Burritos that is almost to the California border, and it's actually got like one of the coolest. Hold on, sorry, that might have made a little bit of noise. There's a hair on my mic there. But Juanjijo's Burritos, man, one of the best burritos I've ever had in my life. Up in Pennsylvania, New Smithville, Pennsylvania. There's the Smithville Diner, one of the best Philly cheesesteaks that I've ever had. One of the best cheesecakes I've ever had in my life. I used to stop there every time I went through there. There's all these places, Hattie B's in Nashville. You know, all these places that I've got to try and experience, and so many different stories and stuff like that I could sit here and tell. And if I was going to sit here on one podcast and tell them, it would probably take, I don't even know. I could sit here for a week and tell stories and probably not ever fully even touch the surface of like an eighth of the experiences that I've had. And, you know, all those travels and all these stories and all this different stuff I've got to do, it's been awesome. And so I just want to really, first and foremost, I want to continue to travel. Eventually, I'd like to actually travel outside the country, but one thing at a time. But, you know, I want to continue to travel, and I want to experience all these different things and all these funny stories, and I want to be able to tell you guys about them. And, you know, and so this podcast is basically a eclectic combination of travels that I've already had, as well as travels that I'm going to continue to experience. And this podcast is actually sponsored by, I don't think I can technically give you the website yet because it hasn't officially launched, but a travel short-term booking company has already sponsored this podcast, and they're just about to launch. I can't wait to tell you about it. I'm actually, like I said, I do business. I do branding and marketing advice and consulting and a lot of other stuff on the side. They're actually a client of mine that that is just. I mean, I wish I could tell you more about it, but like it's basically gonna be like the Airbnb of like Tennessee or Eastern Tennessee or in that general vicinity. But I can't wait to tell you about it. I'm also, this podcast is also sponsored by the Short Term Pro, which is, my buddy Vernon, who I'm telling you guys, if you're ever in the Tennessee area and you want to book an Airbnb, I don't like using that term, but people don't know what I'm talking about if I say anything different. But a short term rental, I'm telling you, he's the guy to go to. And this podcast is also sponsored by Buffalo Creek Fishing Company, which they actually, so I was a part of that company. They're another one of my clients. I was a part of that company, and they were actually very good and successful. Right now, their website is actually not live right this second. They are going through a bit of a rebranding and rebuilding phase, and they are going to be relaunching very soon. But but all of these companies, they get it, and they get what I'm trying to do, and that's basically to uh, get out, travel, see the world, and B, sorry, I don't know if there's any background noise there. I was adjusting my mic. I like to get out and travel, and I like to do stuff, and I like to be a part of the world. But B, I like to support local businesses, and that's one thing that that I'm big on. I don't like, like I said, if I go down to the beach, I'm not going to go to Dunkin' Donuts. I'm going to find a local, donut shop down in Fort Myers, Florida. Bennett's Fresh Roast Coffee has some great coffee, and they also have some great donuts. See, I'm like literally just giving out free shout outs right now. But the list goes on and on and on. But the point is to support local businesses and to try to encourage other people to get out and support local businesses and to get out and experience their city. I know, I live in Knoxville, Tennessee, born and raised. I don't know that I would ever willingly live anywhere else. If I did, it would be total climate change, like, Washington, Montana, Arizona, Florida. It would be somewhere like totally different, like with a completely different layout. But, but even in my hometown, there's like thousands of restaurants, and I've ate at maybe not even a quarter of them, you know. Uh, Sorry, I know my voice sounded weird there. I'm hitting these weird bumps. Like I said, I'm actually mobile right now, but I was driving down the road and I hit these speed bumps, and my man boob started jumping, and my belly started jiggling, and I wasn't expecting it. Wait, here comes another one. Okay, wasn't expecting it. So, but the point is to encourage people. Nothing wrong with eating at the big chains. I mean, I get it. Like I said, Whataburger. Anytime I'm in Kentucky, I always stop at White Castle. Why? Because I don't get to have it all the time. I actually just made a post about going to White Castle the other day. That was like the first time in like maybe 3 years that I've got to have White Castle. I get it. I've got nothing against the big chains. I'm not saying that I don't eat at, McDonald's and Taco Bell and places like that. I get it. But every once in a while, get out and eat local, support local businesses, and not even just, eating at local businesses, but like, going to local businesses, whether it's, like whether it's, your trash company, or whether it's, a mechanic shop or whatever it may be. Try to support local where you can. And so, the point to this podcast is to, you know, shine a little bit of light on local businesses. Now, I will say that this podcast is going to primarily be focused in the East Tennessee region. I will gladly share experiences of, other places. Sorry, I know I know my voice keeps sounding weird, but like I said, I keep hitting these bumps or whatever. It's jarring my fatness around here. I'm actually driving somebody else's truck right now, and it's a little tiny S10. I look like freaking who is it, Bowser on Mario Kart or whatever, that's shoved in the little cart and he's spilling out everywhere. That's what I feel like. It's either Donkey Kong or Bowser. I can't remember. Anyways, but yeah, this podcast and a lot of my content will be centered around, East Tennessee pretty heavily. I've got no problems traveling. I mean, Florida is sort of I always call it my second home. My wife is from there, and so I spend a lot of time down in Florida, down in Fort Myers area, especially. Uh, that's kind of my second home away from home. But a lot of the content will be, East Tennessee and neighboring areas of that. But I occasionally will still get out and travel a little bit and do things like that. But yeah, if you own a local business in the East Tennessee area, especially Knoxville and surrounding within about an hour or two, and you want to have a little bit of shine, and you want your business featured or whatever, hit me up. We can talk about it. Right now, I'm kind of giving spots away. I'm giving content away from free. Down the road, that may or may not change once I start getting, what's the word? Once I start getting film crews and stuff like that, when it starts getting to be a little bit of a bigger deal, then, that may or may not change. But in the meantime, I love you guys. I appreciate the love and support that you guys have given me over the years. I've been away for a while. I actually quit doing the Where's Big Drew stuff for like 4 years, 5 years, something like that. And I'm just now getting back into it. I've got, a lot more time and a lot more, just a lot more things that are going on for me that are, really good. Things that I'm proud of. But, I know that, I had a pretty decent following when I was doing this before. And I look forward to all the new adventures and new experiences and stuff. I'm a totally different person now than what I was when I was doing this stuff before. Now I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm, all kinds of, I'm, technically a business owner, which is crazy. And I just, I look forward to, being able to, experience new things and share these experiences with you. And I'm going to get to stay in a lot of cool places too, which is cool. Like I can't wait to share some of that stuff with you guys, but, anyways, so this podcast, again, just to summarize, and is basically just a collection of funny stories and different things that have happened in my travels, as well as, experiencing new places, shining light on new businesses or small businesses, I should say, local businesses. And it's going to be a lot of fun, to be honest with you. So again, if you hadn't already, click like, click subscribe on this podcast. Check me out on Facebook at Where's Big Drew. I do still technically have an Instagram and a Twitter. If you want to follow me on there, it's at Where's Big Drew. I will have a website up here in the near future. Until then, guys, until next time, I appreciate your time today. And again, if you have a local restaurant or small business in the East Tennessee area that you want a little bit of shine on, hit me up, and we'll go from there. So appreciate it. This is Big Drew with Where's Big Drew podcast, and I'm out.